he should stop using, to advise him to be going by commercial flights. That is also another option. You understand? And the third one is the renting of the jets. Now you do the cost-benefit analysis, and you do the security implications of all these scenarios that I've given to you. Between using his brother's jet and going by commercial flight, which one as a country do we seem to see as being security tight?
Well, the views will vary, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're not in control of either of those flights.
So then I narrow it to my personal view.
Yeah.
First of all, the state must get his jet. Okay. I agree with those that says that he must not be using his brother's jet. And the emphasis, the caveat must be that if there is a jet for the state.
Okay, so that's the context within which we shouldn't allow.
We shouldn't allow.
Okay.
Because if the state has a jet sitting down, he has no business. I would have been the first person to call him out. But here is the case that the state is not having a jet. The second level of it.
But so how about the Falcon we sent for retrofitting, or is it repairs or something?
That's why I referenced the squadron.
That one is still not.
They say it's still not. I am waiting for, I'm not a technical person in that field. So we will need some express statement coming from the squadron to tell us the true state of the Falcon. Whether what the information minister said, I have no reason to doubt what the information minister put out there. But if it is that we had a functioning jet, then the argument, I agree entirely with those that are saying that it is needless to use your brother's jet. God and the state has it. But that is not the situation we are dealing with right now. The state does not have it. The last time the president traveled to Japan, he was in this country. He went by a commercial flight. That was when he had to transit like 2 days in Dubai, with all its accompanying problems. Now we are told that the jet, he is not paying any rent for the jet. Once again, let's put issues in the right perspective. And I like my brother, I don't know whether since Kennedy lost the elections, he's still not come back home. But let's be fair to Okudzeto Ablakwa. Okudzeto's issue had to do with the rental or the renting of the jets and the amounts involved. So if on this occasion we are told that it's free of charge, what we are paying is the fuel. Between you going to, if you bought a commercial flight, you pay anyway. Between you paying and not paying, which one would you opt for?
But Solo, how much fuel are we using? Because that would also provide some context.
No, because if you were renting the jet, remember when President Akufo Addo was renting the jet, he was buying fuel on. I mean, they would charge you,
and you pay for rent,
for landing rights, and so on and so forth. Now you are having to pay one out of, say, 3 cost components. So whichever you look at it, it's better.
Relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking.
Yeah.
And
how about security? Security,
if your brother would want you to die, between your brother and a commercial flight, that you don't even know the pilot, that you don't have any clue as to what they are thinking about, which one is security. And by the way,
Basolo, you travel, I mean, you know that once you buy your ticket, you are safe.
It's risk that we take.
Iran, US.
You know, there was this flight, is it Filipino flight or so, that the pilot decided to go around. He realized that all those that were in the flight, they didn't need to survive. Just ride them into some sea, and then that was it. But what I'm saying is that the most important is, as a country, we must have our own jet. This must be seen as a temporary measure. And the president has explained through his communication or information minister that they have ordered the jet. So it's not as though steps have not been taken to remedy the situation. As when the jet will be ready depends on the manufacturers. But we have been told that by early next year, it should be ready. Now, when it comes and the president decides to still use his brand, that's where we have a problem.
So for now,
I mean, I don't see the hue and cry, except that, you know, it's politics of equalization. That is what we have been treated ourselves to. And that is why every least opportunity, people want to make mountains out of nothing. I don't see this as a matter that, in any case, is Ibrahim Mahama charging the president. If he was not doing that, we can even be considering issues of conflict of interest. We can be considering those issues. And for me, it must be seen in that light. I don't see the big deal about it.
Let me bring in Ivan. Ivan, you've also been listening to the conversations online as well.
Yeah.
And of course, he's asking that the foreign minister should even resign because the president is now using a private jet.
Blessed, let me say good morning to you and to our cherished viewers. I think these are genuine political sentiment likely to be expressed when a president uses his brother's jet. It's normal. But beneath this genuine political sentiment are a certain hostile mixture of unrelated questions beaming for a certain answers. And most of the answers are just quite raw. And for me, that is the problem. You see, if you're a Ghanaian and your president or your president is using his brother's jet, obviously or naturally, there are a lot of questions you might want to ask to ascertain what is actually involved in some of these, whether it is a deal transaction or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it is very legitimate, it's appropriate, but the questions that are being asked, sometimes is it the direction, the objective, and you don't even seek to understand the sort of answers people want to achieve at the end of the day. First of all, if I'm a Ghanaian and I'm asking such a question, my first concern will have to do with safety. This is a new jet. So is the president safe? These are legitimate because this is a new jet. You might be interested in asking whether it is equipped with all the distance that will be required to make our president safe. If you're asking these questions, it is very legitimate. You understand? Then back to the question of conflict of interest.
Yeah.
The conflict of interest comes in when the president is giving his or granting his brother a certain undue privileges. You understand? So as it stands now, President Mahama has been in power for 1 year. He's using his brother's jet. The question is, what are the benefits that his brother has gotten from him? Is there any? Can anybody pinpoint exact benefits? So no, the question of, they are talking about conflict of interest because conflict of interest works in the two-way direction. I'm getting something from you and because of that you are granting me a certain undue advantage. You understand?
But I'm saying that that's his brother. He's a businessman.
Yeah, businessman, yes. Ibrahim has been doing his business from time immemorial, you understand? The question is that under this current John Mahama administration, has he been given a specific contract or anything that will make people conclude that there is a conflict of interest in this particular regard? I am not privy to if anybody is aware of any.
But Ivan, I'm saying
that
that's his brother.
Yes, that is his
brother. The perception alone that you may give some more favor.
That is what I'm saying. It's a new political sentiment to be expressed because you will be worried from the outlook. But I think Solo made quite some revelation that if you look at the context we find ourselves in, genuinely, there is a genuine situation that calls for certain intervention because the Falcon is not available. That is a documented fact. And there is this report on it that it's not even, it is an aging jet which is not, safe for some of the travels that we do. So that established, the question is, what option do we have? Do we have a jet? No. The president will have to fly commercial. And we are talking about cost saving, you understand? So in the interim, if he decides
But practically speaking, and again, Solo made that point too, but are you saying that it will be expensive to fly the president on a commercial jet?
Definitely, whichever way.
Comparing that to a private jet,
it will be less.
The amount of fuel you're going to buy.
That is why I agree with those who are asking that how much is involved in the fueling, because these are legitimate questions people should ask. I think the Minister of Communication should let people know how much fuel we are buying in order to settle this thing, so people will be able to do the comparative analysis. Flying commercial, flying this, which of them come at a cost to the state? You understand? These are genuine questions that we can ask, you understand? But the mere fact that there is a problem, interim, then we don't have a flight, and there is this one availability, there is an availability, which unfortunately or fortunately is for his brother. Yeah. Using it, has he been granted any undue advantage? When that is done, or when that is established, then we can argue a strict question of conflict of interest, because we may say that the president is getting this from his brother, and as a result, he's giving him this. But as it stands now, the state doesn't have in the interim, and I am not expecting that by the end of this year or it's going to be a normal practice. You understand that? It is for a period. And that is why I am rationalizing within the peculiarity of the situation we find ourselves in now. Because if we were to have our jet or the Falcon is available and the president is flying his brother's jet, obviously we will condemn it. And again, we are also coming from a background of a certain experience that didn't go well with Ghanaians. Because in the past, President Akufo Addo had issues, he said, with a Falcon, and we resorted to renting jets at $18,000 per hour.
But that was an option. Solo pointed to the options. You either rent, you either go commercial, you either...
Exactly. So those options are currently available to the president. He can decide to go and rent $18,000 per hour. But if you look at the current political terrain and the state of the economy, would it be reasonable for president to go and rent a jet at $18,000 per hour? That would be highly unreasonable. You understand? So my point is that because of where we are coming from and the experiences that we have had in the past, because we all subjected that particular decision by President Akufo Addo to critical scrutiny, because some of us deemed it to be very unreasonable, especially taking into consideration the economic situation at the time. So for me, in the interim, if this thing is going to happen for a short period and because there is a need and availability of this particular situation, the president can use it for a time being, and all the questions surrounding it should be asked. If you're a Ghanaian and you're worried about any other question, and again, you see, I said it is a hostile mixture of unrelated questions beaming for answers. See, people are worried about the fact that under President John Mahama, his brother has gone to buy jet. So people have their own suspicion as to whether even the president is involved or to a certain extent. So this question is linked to the president using it. So it's a hostile mixture of several questions that people are asking. You understand?
So there was an instructive point from one of the audience, pointing out that, look, this is Ghana, this is a republic, this is a state. We can afford all of these things, and probably even renting one for the president.
Absolutely.
Just to do away with the perception. So why is the president not perhaps considering that, to go for a rented jet, maybe?
No, as for rented jet, has to be.
And then we pay for it as a state, so we know we are paying.
So I agree with the gentleman that said that as a country we can afford. We have to be able to afford. If you give somebody a job, you must give the person tools to work with.
Yes.
But here is the thing. It's not as though we have not ordered for a jet.
A new one, right.
A new one has been ordered. And buying of jets, it's not like buying of shirts. That you enter the supermarket boutique and you immediately go and it has to take some time for it to be manufactured. You understand? So we are in the manufacturing stage. Meanwhile, the president must travel. The president must travel. So if he is lucky, I think it's sheer luck. And let's also put this thing in perspective. I think when the new jet was being adored, Ibrahim Ahmed jet, I followed it carefully because of what we do, so that any commentary you pass on it, you are well grounded. Right. I think I saw, and I know the AFSA global group head, the chief executive of AFSA, I saw him in there. Subsequently, I was given the information through that he took a loan of $50 million, and he had to go to AFSA South Africa, because in Ghana, when you go to the bank, there is something called the obligor limit. The obligor limit of AFSA Ghana cannot support 50 million. So if somebody goes to borrow his own money, and from what I gathered, it is going to be used, he has a mining company up north. So this is the thing. His workers will be flying from Accra to the mine site. Now, you have two options. Either you have some negotiation with these, hour and then pass it.
Domestic flight.
Domestic flight, so that you'll be paying them. So you do the cost-benefit analysis. How many times would I be flying people to the WA? And how much would I be paying vis-a-vis if I decide to purchase one for myself? So that was the rationale behind Ibrahim, going to buy the jet, not for luxury. You understand? So that it would be flying his staff to his mining site. If the country and the president is fortunate to have a brother who in this crucial time has a jet, that would save him the trouble of having to go through commercial flights, or decide not to travel, or decide to rent The country must...
So today it's the president's brother. If it were to be someone else, and perhaps once the president setting that precedent, someone else comes into power and does say, maybe with another businessman, not necessarily a brother, but a friend, maybe. Would you be okay with
So
that?
the caveat has been established. The assumption or the principle has been established that once the state has its jet fully functioning,
then there should be no rule.
It shouldn't even cross anybody's mind. And that's why I asked the question, can anybody convince us? Because we are still seeking for answers. Whether or not the state jet is functioning and the president is deliberately abandoning that and then going with his brother, that one would be uncalled for. But as it is a known fact that our jet is non-functioning.
And so it shouldn't be a challenge. You're okay with that now?
I would say, has President ever in
since he became the president.
Yeah, before he went for retrofitting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before
he has used it. Let me intervene.
Yeah.
He has used it in Kenya,
one of the West
Tanzania, and so he has been with it.
He has been with the Falcon.
Yes.
But when he came to Cabinet, we saw him flying with commercial and other things. Was he comfortable flying commercial? If he was comfortable flying commercial, he didn't complain. We didn't see him complaining. And the cost benefit. Now we know the cost benefit of the fuel he's using. If he didn't complain using the commercial, we didn't hear him complaining that he went through stress or other things. We didn't hear him doing anything like that. So we believe if he didn't complain and was comfortable with flying with the commercial and the cost is lesser, then he's still going with the commercial.
Blessed. I think, you see, there is no comparative analysis that anybody can do and conclude that the president flying even commercial
is safe.
No, it's even less,
less expensive.
Exactly, because the president...
No, but we are just assuming.
Yes.
Looking at fuel.
For now, we don't know the cost. For now, we don't know the cost of the fuel.
Because the president does not travel alone.
Absolutely.
He travels with the whole team.
Right.
So even if each of them, each of them is going to pay, and definitely that will come at a huge cost to the states. So what I'm saying is that, do we have a jet now? The answer is no. Then the options are either to go on high or
to buy a new one,
and then,
which will take time.
Yes, and the interim, there is an availability. You understand?
Yep.
This whole arrangement between the president and his brother put the brother at a very disadvantageous position because he's a businessman. And as it stands now, Ibrahim cannot apply to do any job under this government. Do you know why? Because of some of these things. Because no privileges can be extended to him. Because of the services, for the fact that he's the president's brother alone knocks him out, but he's a business.
Yeah, but he's the president's brother.
Yeah, so you see, that is how disadvantageous it is.
It's not good to be a president's brother. So
that alone knocks him off.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
But you see,
so Ivan,
that alone knocks him off, and the fact that he has also given his jet completely takes him out because he cannot apply to do anything under this current.
So are you saying that the conflict will not arise because he's not gone for any favor?
Exactly. He's a private businessman until government decide to give him something. Then you can say, oh, this privileges have been extended to him.
Ivan?
That is why you are a journalist, and that is your job to do beneath that.
Are you saying?
You understand?
Is it your case or is it your point that Ibrahim is, as it were, trying to convince his brother with a jet?
You give him an offer?
Well, that's your brother.
No, your brother. So you mean that for Ibrahim to get anything under his brother's presidency, he must give him a jet, fly in a jet before he gets it?
Before you give him anything?
No. That cannot be. That's the brother.
Yeah, that argument is weak. And again...
How about the principle we are establishing?
The principle is okay.
The principle is okay.
The state must be providing means of transport.
And it's not there for
It's
now.
not there.
Yes, but I'm saying that the principle that you have a private individual funding our president's state's travel.
Yes.
Not necessarily funding it, but of course providing his vehicles.
No, it's funding. Yes, funding.
The principle, you're establishing precedent, someone else could do that.
Someone could do that.
But on a higher scale.
Absolutely. That is why we are saying that. So I started by giving you the options that we have as a country. He should go on commercial flights.
Which you said is not safe.
It's safe for him. Yeah. And my brother was saying that he has not come out to complain. I don't think you expect the president to be coming out always to be complaining about issues that he is facing. No, that would be a mark of weak leader. You must always go through it. As a country, we citizens go through a lot of problems, and then we keep it to ourselves. So the same way, he must be the person that must be absorbing every heat at any given time. But this is a peculiar situation we find ourselves, that we must make a determination that you don't have it.
So you use the available one. Okay, let me put this to the two of you. Because I've seen two statements online, on social media, that's making lots of waves. There's one from Manasseh Azuri, there's one from Franklin Kojo as well. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the post from...
I've seen that of Manasseh. I've not seen the...
Oh, Franklin Kojo is asking the president to, restrict himself to the guidelines he's giving to other appointees through the code of conduct that the president launched.
So
because he feels that using your brother's private jet will be a bit problematic, so the president would have to stop that.
So all of us on this table, if you have listened to the argument carefully, I do not support, and in fact I made that statement, that I do not support the president using his brother's jet. Beneath this whole thing is that there must be a functioning jet or means of transport. Now, under the current circumstance, where we find ourselves, we have three options. Go on a commercial flight. Is that what Franklin Kojo is suggesting? That he goes by commercial flight? He decides to abandon his travels? Is that what Franklin Kojo is suggesting? Or revert back to the status quo where they go and rent jets? These are the questions that we must throw back to Franklin Kojo. You cannot just...
That's where Manasseh's question will come in.
Yes.
That if this were to be the previous administration, where you have some known individuals closer to President Akufo Addo, purchasing private jets and giving it to President Akufo Addo to use, would the same standard be applied?
No, I mean, why not? If there's a circumstance like this, if there is no jet for the president and the president brother is giving it to him on free bono basis, why would I, as a country, remember that the long and short of what we do is to protect the public purse. You understand? Yeah. If the public purse is being protected, why would I have a problem? Why would I have a problem? But the point must be made that this is the situation we find ourselves. As a country, we should have seen this coming and prepared adequately by buying a presidential jet earlier enough. But we sat down and decided not to do it, and we have been caught by events of time. And that is why we are paying for it. It just happened that, what's the name? The president brother has a jet. Either and I would either go by renting the jet, which will be expensive to you and I.
So Franklin Kojo has no points then?
No, he has to answer the questions that I've given.
About the choices.
Which of the choices? Because you cannot just say it anyhow. You understand?
So you wouldn't have taken it easy on President Akufo Addo?
No, why? President Akufo Addo did a lot of things that some of us, you understand, believe that it has to be allowed to slide. You know, I was a communication member of the NPP. Yeah. I know the sort of things that I defended. I don't need to come and sit here and then be blowing my own. Yeah. Now, some of them were even indefensible, but I did. Because I knew at that time that it was the right thing. Today, from where I sit, you must be consistent. One thing with communication is that consistency. And today, whatever we say is on the internet.
Right. So we can just pull it back.
You can pull it back. Yeah. That what was your position yesterday was your position today. So tomorrow will be there for me. Yeah. And when we are faced with the same situation, and bearing in mind
that there must not be a state jet for the president.
That is it.
That's your caveat. Okay.
Yes, I think that the second question is very weak in scope. The question Manasseh. Yes, because you see.
You're saying that's a weak question?
Yes, it's weak in scope, like how the stand of the question, because the scenario are totally different. You understand? The comparison here is that at the time of President Akufo Addo, we were renting a jet at a time the country was in economic mess. And the president had option. It was not as if the presidential jet at the time was not in good condition. At the time, Oporia had come for it and he was traveling with it, and our president was renting at a higher unreasonable cost. That was the reason why people criticized. So anybody who criticized the president at the time was legitimate in their questions, because some of the issues beneath or surrounding that particular renting and those kind of things didn't make sense at the time. And the situation now it's different. You see, my point is that I am not
in the Akufo Addo situation, for instance.
Okay.
This is one man who's decided to rent a jet.
Okay.
Because in his case, he's not. Well, I don't want to use the word fortunate. Unfortunately for the president at the time, he didn't have a brother who had a private jet.
Okay.
You're just confirming to us that someone else was in use of our jet, the presidential jet.
Yes.
So the three options you gave, you and Solo gave, was setting that he would have to, he has no.
No, you see,
but the jet was available. The jet was available.
Someone else was using.
No,
but why would you give your jet to somebody?
Why would our country have a jet?
You hand it over
the
to
first
somebody.
priority is our president, and you rent it to another person.
Yeah, but you don't have evidence he rented.
No,
Oponya was using it.
But he didn't rent to him. Maybe.
Whatever, but he was using at the time.
So if it is free,
the thing is that so at that time the jet was in a pristine situation to be used. You understand? It was not as if
you're also using the word pristine. That
yeah, definitely because if Oponya, who at the time was a president of a state, will be cleared to use it, it means that it was in a pristine situation or condition for the president to travel with it. You understand? So in this particular situation,
but I'm saying that the options you gave, it means that the president will be left with one.
Okay. So you see, people were not worried about the president renting a private jet, because if you go back to history, there are a number of presidents who have rented, how do you call it, private jet, and it did not ruffle the public. You understand? The outrageous costs attached to it per hour, that was what infuriated the people as against the prevailing economic situation at the time. You understand? So that was the main substance of the criticism at the time. And in this particular scenario, you see, the president has taken a jet from his brother. Those of us sitting here, I'm not in support of that. Because all things being equal, the president is not supposed to be using his brother's jet. That is the established, that is the baseline argument we are making.
We all agree on that.
We all agree, because it raises a whole lot of genuine political sentiment, and in a situation where other people also have to question how the acquisition, blah blah blah, a whole lot of questions. Because if you listen to one of your studio audience, he raised a question as to whether even behind the scenes the president who is the owner of it. But I think Solo has provided a certain perspective, because this is not the first time Ibrahim is buying a jet. He bought it some time ago. He has been using all this while, and he has done something that everybody has also decided to forgotten about it. I listened to him in one of his interviews, and he said the old jet has been given to the state for a medical emergency. Yeah. For me, that is another hell of this thing that has to be commended. You understand? But because of political,
the question of this guy comes in. What is he getting in return? Because this is just one benevolent individual who's been supporting.
So that's why I'm saying that it is your job and the people of this country to go behind the scenes and ask. If you bring up any exposé that all these things that Ibrahim is doing behind the scenes, that is what is exactly we will condemn. You understand? So until that is done, because of the peculiarity of the situation created, we don't have the president is left with the option to go and hire or to go fly a commercial. Considering all the scenarios available and the fact that the economy is not in good shape and we're just trying to manage the situation, if I were the president, I would definitely go for this particular option. But what I'm saying is that the cost involved in fueling must also be made public in order to kill some of these cynicism. Because if you create a vacuum, people will fill it with cynicism and you can't control it, and this is exactly what is happening.
Lawyer Kwesi Botchway Jr. is joining us this morning. Good morning to you. I'll come to you shortly.
So
briefly,
I will say that as a country, if Ibrahim has an expertise unique to him that he can offer to his brother, because he is the president, his brother, he cannot do it. Is that what we are saying? Is that how we are stretching the argument?
I'm not sure that's entirely the case. Okay, so I don't know if a Donald Trump example will be extreme. Okay. He has his own private, private aircraft.
Yes.
But
he's not allowed, for instance, in the US.
But sometimes he uses it going on campaign.
He has been breaking protocol.
He has been using it.
By security protocol.
But he has been using it.
Yes.
You see, let's establish.
He has been breaking protocols.
In fact, he's supposed to be living in Washington. He goes to Mar-a-Lago, sometimes weekends, and you see, some of these things, you must not...
Yeah, but the president can move anywhere he wants to.
Yeah,
but, of course. Yeah, but I'm just saying that using the aircraft, I'm restricting it.
The country must go get its own jets. It's as simple.
So you see, the only concern with this thing is the conflict of interest. You understand?
That concern. And you are saying that we have evidence. We do.
Exactly. It's a genuine political sentiment to be expressed. But if there is any clue that justify the fact that certain undue privileges are being extended to Ibrahim. That thing
be taken
just seems to be taken
that's
as a
why I'm
good
bringing
gesture.
up the constitutional or perhaps legal construction of what conflict of interest
is.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's why I'm bringing.
So what's the interest of?
Is it that do we need the evidence? Is that what the law says? Because my appreciation of the law may not necessarily be that you
have to have the evidence, but just on the face of it.
On the
yes, but because once it has been made public, I think disclosure is some of these things, because the disclosure kills all these things, because behind the scenes
you tell people,
exactly, and it's quite obvious.
Okay, Lawyer Kwesi Botchway, good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning, brother.
Yeah, so here we are. The president obviously doesn't have a choice from the analysis of Solo and Ivan. So, well, if his brother is available to help, we go with that.
You have to pay for late fee.
Good morning, my dear brother. Good morning to my colleagues. Good morning to our wonderful studio audience. And good morning to everybody watching us. On my way, I was monitoring the conversation.
Oh, you were listening?
Yeah, I was listening. I was. Your producer shared the link with me, so I was connected. You see, it's important we situate this conversation in a particular perspective. I do not have any problems with the president's brother owning a private jet. It is his bona fide. He has the right to own any property that he wishes to own. But this is the case of the president of the land using a private property of his brother. And today it looks as if many voices that are expected to be, to be speaking conscience to the president is today trying to rationalize what is happening today. What is happening today is not proper. It is not proper. Simple as that.
Which one is not proper?
The president using his brother's private jet. My dear brother, Innocent, tries to justify it to say that there has to be evidence of conflict of interest. My dear brother, Sharjah has established in so many cases that conflict of interest can be perceived. The fact that there is an apparent or potential issue of conflict of interest, there is conflict of interest. Please, do you get my point? Then he also makes the point that the president's brother hasn't gotten anything, and so we cannot conclude that there is conflict of interest. If you care to know, Solo made a very important point that the purpose of the private jet is to fly the president's brother's workers up north to, visit their mining concession. Let's ask ourselves, when did the president's brother acquire that concession? When did he acquire it? He acquired the Blackwater project concession just about 3 months ago under the presidency of his brother.
So does it not meet the time? No.
Under the presidency of his brother. You see,
how did he acquire?
I have heard conversations that the processes of the acquisition.
Yeah, but that mine you're talking about, it's a contested area.
Hold on. I'm making a point. I have heard conversations that the processes of the acquisition between engineers and planners, the president's brother's company,
predates,
and the owners of Azuma. In fact, we were in this country when Azuma issued about 4 or 5 different statements. I have had the privilege of engaging the owners of Azuma because we were almost signing them as our clients. But there were so many problems and technical issues with the matter, and so many political issues as well. And so, being a political figure also, our firm decided not to, take up.
No, I get that.
Absolutely. But the point I'm making is that. But the point I'm making is that.
History.
But the point I'm making is that, in as much as the processes of the acquisition, or there was a conversation,
way before,
conversation surrounding the potential takeover of the mines. The actual takeover of the mine happened just 3 months ago. That is the point I'm making. And that is a fact.
Oh, no, but okay, Council.
That is a fact. Is that a fact or that is not a fact?
I get your point.
That is a fact.
But I'm saying that you honestly believe that you could just walk in and acquire a mine in a space of 3 months or less.
The point I'm making is...
Do you know, practically speaking, can that happen?
No, you see, they didn't acquire the mine from the government.
I know that, but I'm just saying.
They acquired. Oh, I was quiet.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, no, but it's because of I'll allow you. Yeah, I'll allow you. But I'm just asking. I'm just asking you a question because I have to ask you questions here.
I have made the point.
From a B2B basis.
No, I have made a point that the conversation surrounding the takeover, we have been told, started somewhere in 2024.
Yeah, right.
But the point I'm making is that the actual takeover took place 3 months ago. That is the point I'm making. But from any other conversation that happened, the actual takeover took place when the president's brother was the president of this, or is the president of this country. Again, the president's brother, now we are being told, has been given the concession to the Sankofa gold mines.
Now we mean the mine, or which one?
The Sankofa gold project.
Okay, well, I don't.
Now we are being told that the president's brother's company is the company in charge of the Sankofa gold project. And so if innocent is asking that has the president's brother gotten anything, these are the few things that the public is aware of. Maybe there are so many other things. I think maybe the public may not be aware of, but this is what the public, has been made aware of. To my second point, Innocent talks about disclosure.
Yes.
On record, the presidency or the government of the day did not disclose that President Mahama was going to use his brother's private jet for its official travels. We all saw it in the videos and the pictures that were posted. So there hasn't been any disclosure from anybody. And so it flaws the point to justify as to whether or not the issues of conflict of interest arises. You understand my point? Nobody has disclosed anything. It was our dear young people on TikTok and Twitter who started raising the conversation and the issues that why is the president using his brother's brand new $70 million acquired private jet?
How do you know it's 70 million?
Oh, the issue is in the public domain. Now, my third point. Yeah. You see, I do not have any issue again that the president's brother has acquired a private. The president's brother can have all the money in the world. I do not have any problem with it. But why is it the case that any time his brother is a president, number one, number two, any time the government of the day is in the processes of acquiring helicopters or a presidential jet, or let me put all together, aircraft, that is when President Mohammed's brother also acquires his private jet. Is it just mere coincidence? These are questions I'm asking. These are questions that Ghanaians are asking because in 2012, President Mohammed's brother acquired his Jata number 1. And in that same 2012, you are aware. Let me make the point, please, Solo. Please write it down.
He's just asking.
Let him write it down. No, you shouldn't wield the power to Solo to ask questions. Capacity. No, who is the host here?
Just go ahead.
Or is he your co-host? Are you working with him?
I mean, you come on.
No, so if you wield the power to him to ask questions, it's improper.
We're not wielding power to him.
The people around this table, all of us around this table, it is only one person clothed with the power to ask questions, and that is you. So if you want to reserve your right to Solo, that is fine. Then when Solo is also speaking, I also reserve the right to ask him questions. If that is how you want to moderate your show, then that is fair.
So this is a conversation. And in every conversation, you should allow for exchanges, right? There should be dialogue.
So are you now making the ground rule that panel members are entitled to ask questions?
It's not a game.
I haven't done that.
So
that's fair. No.
Just go ahead.
I will never ask you any question.
Okay, let's hear you.
I will never ask you any question in my life. Don't worry.
So I can give you my pen. Write your point. Allow me. When you do that, you try to distract my thoughts. And it's a deliberate tactics. We've all been in this game for a while. But the point is that the point I'm making is that the president's brother acquired his first jet in 2012.
Yes.
As at that time, government of Ghana was in talks with some other partners to acquire aircraft for the Ghana Armed Forces. Martin Amidu, we all know, was the Attorney General of the realm at that time. Tells us that President Mahama, President Mills, wanted his vice president investigated for issues relating to the purchase of the aircraft for the armed forces.
Right.
Martin Amidu goes ahead to tell us that there was actually a committee set up. And the members of the committee are, in fact, this is a matter of public knowledge. All of you can Google on your phones and also follow the conversation. The members of the committee were Mr. William Abwa, Mr. George Amwa, and Brigadier General Alote as secretary to the committee. And the mandate of this committee was to investigate these three things. With your permission, I'll just read briefly what Martin Amidu said. This is Martin Amidu speaking. The terms of reference of the committee as I was instructed and drafted them for the late president were I, to investigate the processes adopted in selecting, negotiating and agreeing on the acquisition of the aircraft, to investigate the competitive advantage, prices of the aircraft, and the level of economic and financial due diligence conducted by relevant agencies in the process of the acquisition of the aircraft, and to investigate any other matter that in the opinion of the committee is reasonably related to the foregoing terms of reference.
So
this means the point is that during the purchase of aircraft for the Ghana Armed Forces, which purchase was led by then Vice President Mahama, his president or his boss, President Mills, as the Attorney General is making us believe, wanted the Vice President investigated on grounds of overpricing and other issues.
Between a government-led, no, I mean, I have to ask you questions. Between a government-led committee and the findings of a special prosecutor, which one would you believe? Or take more?
No, this is the Attorney General telling us
at the time.
Yes,
he left office subsequently.
Yes, but this is the Attorney General at the time.
Yes, I'm saying
telling us that the president wanted his Vice President investigated regarding issues of the purchase of the
I'm asking you a question.
Aircraft.
That if you have an independent institution such as the special prosecutor and a government-led committee,
I'll answer your question.
I'll answer your question. The reason why I'm asking you,
I'll answer your question. Let me just make the point out of it. Out of this.
You made the point. That's why.
No, I've not made the point. I've not made the point yet. So the point I'm making is that the president wanted his Vice President Mahama investigated for overpricing the aircraft, which was supposed to be purchased for the armed forces. At that same material time, in the same year in 2012, we are being told that the president's brother acquired his first private jet. This is circumstantial analysis.
I know, but
number two, if you allow me to land.
No, but I have to ask the question.
If you allow me to land, then you can ask your question. The whole day.
Subsequently.
No, but allow me to land. You're not allowing me to make my point.
I'll give you the time. I'm saying that, Kwesi, that the 2012 point you're raising, that 2012 process was concluded years after by the special prosecutor. Two of them, in fact, the former Attorney General you're referring to, the Honorable Martin Amidu, also, he commenced the process, and the investigation was concluded by the second special prosecutor, clearing the president.
Is it true or not true that Martin Amidu alleged that a committee was set up to investigate?
Yeah, I'm saying that process concluded with the special prosecutor's investigation. So how do we?
No, the special prosecutor's investigation had to do with Airbus.
Yes.
The issues of Airbus and whether or not
there were underhand dealings and all.
But the point I'm making is that the president of the day, President Mills, wanted his Vice President investigated. But if there weren't sufficient grounds, at the time that the president, for the president to believe that his Vice President was innocent, I'm not sure that the president will go ahead to set up a committee to investigate. So I'm only saying, I am not alleging criminality or anything. I am only saying that when Ghana was in the processes of acquiring aircraft for the armed forces, in the first, during NDC's era in 2012, the president's brother also acquired his first private jet in the same year.
You're right.
And today, we are being told that Parliament has granted clearance for Ghana to acquire about an $80 million presidential jet. And today, again, we are being told that the president's brother has acquired his Jata number 2, his private jet number 2.
So where's the impropriety?
So I'm not alleging any impropriety. Please don't put words in my mouth, kindly. If you want to allege impropriety, you have the opportunity to do so, but don't put words in my mouth.
So what's the point?
But the point I'm making is that why is it the case? Ghanaians are asking questions. If you go on social media, people are asking questions. Why is it the case that the president's brother, who we are all made to believe that is very, very wealthy and very, very rich, which we respect him for that, is an accomplished businessman, is only able to purchase private jets when his brother is a president, and number 2, when the government of the day is in the processes of acquiring aircraft for the nation? People are asking those questions, and I think they are legitimate and valid questions. Now, the third point I want to make, or the fourth point I want to make on this private jet issue is that we are all aware that the president has set out code of conduct for his appointees, including himself. The president himself signed the code of conduct, and so he's bound by it. If you read the code of conduct, the president is clear that no minister or appointee of his government has the right to accept a gift worth more than 20,000 Ghana cedis. Fair. Now we are making the point that the government of the day only pays for the fuel of the Jata aircraft. How much would it have cost government if government was renting the aircraft? Would it be more than 20,000 cedis? If yes, then the president has breached his own code of conduct.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because it's a gift. Is that not the case? Is the Jata jet, is the president not using it by the fact that his brother owns it? And so it can be construed as his brother has gifted it to him.
Is that a gift?
For
others use the
hold on. Not gift for life, but using it for that very time frame.
Is
you
that
understand?
A gift? Is that a difference?
Oh, I can construe it as a gift.
That's a gift?
Yeah, that is my understanding.
Because others use the same facility.
I have not seen anybody use the new Jata jet.
Oh, but
have you seen anybody use the?
But the owner himself has used it.
And I'm saying that apart from the owner, have you seen any other person use the brand new Jata jet? You can correct me. And I'm saying apart from the owner.
If I give you my,
apart from the owner, have you seen any other person use the Jata private jet?
You're calling it a private jet, isn't it? It's private.
But I thought you were...
But I'm asking you a question. You said other people use it. And I'm asking you directly that aside the owner of the private jet or the person that we are all, being told that he bought the private, aside him, have you seen any other person use it?
But they use it.
So the point is that the president is using a jet that, in actual fact, cost more than the 20,000 cedis threshold.
But that's not a gift, in
his code.
Because the owner himself is on record to
both of us do not know whether or not it's a gift. Both of us do not know.
The owner is on record to have said what he would do with his first private jet and what the second one would mean. Because people asked him a question. He says the other one would be...
Even with that, with what my brother Innocent says is partially inaccurate.
No, but I just want us to clear that off. You agree that it's not a gift?
I don't agree that it's not a gift. I'm saying that there's reasonable grounds to believe, because aside the owner of the private jet uses it, we've not seen any other person use it other than his brother.
If I buy you, say,
other than his brother,
Innocent's type of iPhone,
I think that
you,
the president's use of his brother's jet is shrouded in too much secrecy. There needs to be some level of transparency.
All right.
We need to know the amount of fuel that is being used.
Yes.
We need to know what has gone into the processes of the president's brother, gifting or giving his private jet.
But it's not a gift.
You know for a fact that it's not a gift.
But there's someone claiming ownership to the private jet, Ibrahim Mahama, isn't it?
That's fine.
Yeah, so you understand that clearly.
But we do not know why his brother is using it.
So why is it?
So has he rented it to his brother, or is his brother using it out of courtesy, or what? Why is his brother using it?
Okay, I just wanted to go online to bring in an apple.
You interjected me 28. I was noting, or you interjected me. On my way here, you allowed Kolo and Innocent to flow. No, when you do this, it's not proper. When you do this, it's not proper. Things like this are not proper. Sincerely, things like this are not proper. You interjected me 28 times. Everybody's watching. Somebody just sent me a message that you interjected me 28 times. Why do you do this?
The advertised time for the program was 7 a.m. If you were here, you would have got...
So you are interjecting me because I go here?
No, not because of time.
No, is that the point you are trying to make?
No, I'll give you the time. Don't worry, Kwesi. I'll give you the time. Okay, Nana Poku, you've been listening to us. Just come through. Let's hear you on this. I'll come back to the rest in studio because this is an interesting matter. You were advocating earlier that, we should acquire ours. This brewing into a whole controversy now. Yeah. Nana, I hope you can hear me. Okay, we seem to be having a challenge. Ivan, you had wanted to...
Yes, I think
we need to close the chapter on this. Time is fast.
I think there has been a lot of cynical assumptions for my brother, and he was not able to conclude on exact kind of something that a Ghanaian should be worried about in the face of this whole arrangement between the president and his brother. In a normal day, I'm saying that if you're a Ghanaian, definitely you'll be worried. But because of the exigency of the situation, call for some of this intervention for the interim. So it's not some sort of a permanent arrangement that a Ghanaian will have to accept and say, hey, henceforth the president will be using his brother's jet. And again, he made quite an interesting point that the president's brother always buys a jet when the NDC is in power. You see, when I started, I told you that beneath this conversation is a certain hostile mixture of unrelated this thing that people want to use to justify this thing. If, let's say, Ibrahim Mahama used shady means to acquire his first jet in 2012. The NPP was in power for 8 good years. Why didn't they investigate him? And again, another thing about this new private jet is that, you see, do you know how long it takes to acquire a private jet if it is new? You take about 18 to almost 35 months to acquire. So what it means is that if this particular private jet is new and Ibrahim Mahama went for it, made an order, he might have done it long ago, even before his brother came to power.
He says the president was under investigation back in 2012. Right?
And what happened? I don't know if you want to dabble into those trivialities, because you see, they've been in power for 8 good years. At the time, let's say President Mahama did something wrong. What did they use the entire 8 years to do? Because the Airbus accusations were even cleared by the special prosecutor appointed by the president. You understand? So you see, that's why I'm saying that some of these feckless assumptions will not rationalize this whole thing. Ghanaians are concerned because we are a failed state. Because at this point in time, we should have our private jet. The president should have a jet. So we have failed as a country over the years. And ask yourself, when we were sinking monies into those senseless enterprises in recent times, like the National Cathedral, couldn't we have used that particular money for something reasonable? Maybe. If those monies are available, the president wouldn't be going for the private jet or his brother's jet. You understand that?
He says conflict arises.
I am saying that we are in a desperate situation because people decided to recklessly mismanage the resources of the country, pump state money into senseless enterprises, financing individual personal urges and stuff. You understand?
Okay.
The state pursued perverted priorities, and we are in this particular situation. So you understand? I am not seeking to justify what is happening. For me, it is unfortunate.
Okay.
But the exigence of the situation call for this particular thing. But if anybody has any concern about the fact that Ibrahim Mahama jet was illicitly acquired, I think he's open to investigation. He's a Ghanaian. He's not above the law. You understand? Okay. But beneath that, we cannot sit on platforms and build castles of assumptions in a bid to justify some of these things. Okay. You can't rationalize it.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.